All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Tennessee Titans. Now, it took a DeAndre Hopkins signing from a couple of days ago to get the NFL media finally talking about this Tennessee Titans team. When you take a look at them this past season, it wasn't too pretty. That definitely plays a part. They lost their last 7 games in the regular season. They had the 4th worst offense. They finished 7-10. However, there's a lot of bright spots. This is still a very relevant, talented team, specifically that defense, when healthy, is one of the best defenses in the National Football League. But to just make a long story short, injuries ruined this Titans team in the second half of the season. They started 7-3. They were very impressive. They looked solid, and it just hit the fan. So what they do in the offseason? Well, their most slept on move in the entire offseason was the Tim Kelly addition at offensive coordinator. All right, I've spent all offseason, I've heard Kellen Moore is about to unlock Justin Herbert and this Los Angeles Chargers offense. I'm hearing about all of these new guys, these new coaches. I'm hearing nothing about Tim Kelly, all right? That's going to go a long way along with the DeAndre Hopkins signing. But to me, that signals clearly that this Titans team, their organization and their coaches, everybody top to bottom feels like this is a playoff caliber team. This is a championship caliber team. Like I said, when you look on paper at the 7-10 record, it's like, ugh. Yeah. I'm telling you, this Titans team with the 5th easiest schedule in the upcoming year, they're going to win 10 plus games. I'm not saying they're going to beat Jacksonville to win the division, but what I am saying is they're going to be right there. They're going to be knocking at their doorsteps, if not in first place. I mentioned it in my last video, my last Titans video. I was like, I feel like the Titans are just going to win 11 or 12 games this upcoming season. We're going to talk about that in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Titans fans, I love making videos on you guys. I loved covering your team in this past season. I look forward to this upcoming year. If we get this video to 300 likes, that would mean the world to me. But, all right, I made a comment in my last Titans video, and I said, the DeAndre Hopkins move, it's a different Titans team than when they made the AFC Championship game. And a lot of people were like, well, no, because A.J. Brown was a 1,000+ receiver. To me, the difference between the Titans championship squad from a couple of seasons to right now is defense. Don't look at the defensive statistics last season because they just don't mean much. If you want to look at statistics, you could look at, by far, they were the best rushing defense in the league. By far. They only gave up 1,307 rushing yards last season with a decimated defense. 14th total ranked defense next season, or this past season. That's going to be not even close this upcoming year. They're going to be at worst the 10th ranked defense in the National Football League. So that leaves us to the offensive side of things, because it's like, all right, last year, man, the offensive line was shaky. They did a quick rebuild, a quick retool of the offensive line. They actually got the best offensive lineman, in my opinion, in the NFL draft out of Northwestern, which also isn't really being talked about. But when we take a look at their offense, it's like, all right, they average just 17.5 points per game. Well, we could look at a lot of different things, specifically injuries. We could look at the offensive line, injuries to Tannehill, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, they lacked that clear-cut wide receiver number one. And it was extremely obvious all last season. It was obvious before the season even began. Robert Woods actually led the Titans in receiving yards this past year, just 527. DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of contending fan bases are calling this a huge overpay. Why would you sign DeAndre Hopkins? Like, you're not going to do anything either way. DeAndre Hopkins is not even close to washed. He's still a top 10 wide receiver in the league, and I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I kind of assume that by the end of the regular season, if DeAndre Hopkins is healthy and he plays, more than 15 games, he will be back in the top 5 undisputed wide receiver debate. All right. Not only did he average over 80 yards receiving each game last year, so he's not even close to washed. But it's the trickle-down effect, and that's what we talked about in our last video, where it's guys like Treylon Burks, who had a phenomenal rookie season, 33 catches, 444 yards. He only played 11 games due to an injury. Once again, going back to the injuries, like, I know you could say that about a lot of teams in the league, but the Titans specifically decimated by injuries. Burks was selected in the first round at pick number 18 in last year's draft for a good reason. In his final year at Arkansas, 66 catches, over 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns. He averaged 17 yards per catch. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be treated like a wide receiver one. So not only is that going to open up the field and open it up for Trey, but it's also going to go down the depth chart. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, talked a lot about Westbrook-Ikhine last season. I've seen a lot of praise for guys like Kyle Phillips in the comment section. Okonkwo, one of the most underrated tight ends in the National Football League, who had a phenomenal rookie season that nobody really even is mentioning. I look at this Titans offense, obviously, Mr. Derrick Henry, and it's got me licking my chops. You know, the fifth easiest schedule, but it gets me thinking, what's the Titans' identity with Vrabel? Well, it's smash mouth football. It's winning in the trenches. That defensive line is definitely winning in the trenches. Derrick Henry is definitely winning in the trenches. As we know, as all Titans fans know, you know, when we get towards the later half of the season, other teams, it starts getting colder. Other teams start getting banged up, injured a little bit, you know, not 100%. Derrick Henry just wins in those trenches. So you don't need Ryan Tannehill to be, you know, Patrick Mahomes. You don't need him to be Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts or whatever. I need Ryan Tannehill to make the throws that he needs to make, which he does, and I need him to limit turnovers, which we've also seen him do. We pair everything up: DeAndre Hopkins, Tim Kelly, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Burks, all these factors on offense. They're going to be so much more improved next season. But regardless, like I said at the beginning of the video, that defense is extremely legit. They're young, they're hungry, they have established veterans, they have a little bit of everything. I think a good way to summarize the Titans offseason is this. The Titans didn't have a crazy big name, you know, big time trade outside of DeAndre Hopkins and, you know, maybe Tim Kelly. What Tennessee did in the offseason, what they love to do and what they're great at doing, is picking free agents, picking draft talent, where as the season goes on, you look at these guys and you're like, that was a good pickup. That's a good player. That was a good pickup by the Titans. On paper, they're a talented roster, okay? 7-10, don't buy it. So I'm all aboard the hype train with the Tennessee Titans for this upcoming season. I also like long-term how they're looking, man. They want to win. They want to compete, but I also think long-term they're still set up for success. I really like Will Levis. It's not, you know, we're going to see next season how that goes down, especially with Malik Willis, but like long-term, I really like how Tennessee's set up, but especially for this upcoming season. So that's really it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I love making Titans videos. I love going to Nashville. I love the state of Tennessee so much. I love that the stadium is right there, right next to Broadway. I love that you can see it in the distance. Nashville is one of my favorite cities to visit. So I love making Titans videos for you guys. And hopefully one day we'll get out to a game. But that's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this Titans offense down below, and I'll see you guys later.